Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Twisted Koi Live here at Twisted Towers. How we doing out there, cupcakes? And for everyone, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We don't do this happy holidays rubbish on this channel. So how we doing out there? Is everyone out there as happy as I am right at this moment in time? So who we got in the day so far? Got, yep. Oh, here we go. Our first visitor.
What's up, Vince?
Our first visitor. Ty, how are we doing over there in the United States of America, my friend?
Oh, not too bad. Man, you guys have daylight savings over in the UK?
Yeah, we do. I reckon they should
Okay.
abolish it myself.
Yeah, I would be all right with that. Oh,
Do you, so
no, things are
do
good.
you do daylight savings time over there, do you, mate?
Say what now?
So do you do daylight saving times over there in the States where everything goes back an hour or forward an hour?
Well, it's different based state by state. So we do have it here in Utah, though. Which
Sweet. So what have you been up to this week on your ponds and koi?
Well, I had a malfunction on the greenhouse pond.
Oh no, nothing good, I hope.
Well, I lost about half the water in the pond. It was getting diverted out overnight. I just topped it off the evening before. Then I came out the next morning, and there wasn't any sound coming from the pond. So I ran over, ran in, and the water level had dropped. But you know how I made that stupid 2-bucket bottom drain thing? It worked. It kept the pump from draining the whole pond, but now I have a burnt out pump, so it wasn't that great of a design.
Well, I did question it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I should have gotten a float switch.
I did say to you, get a float switch.
I was thinking I could be clever and save money, but
It doesn't help in the long run, does it?
No, but I am glad to have seen that the idea worked.
Yeah.
So, I have a bunch of these smaller pumps that only do like 800 gallons an hour or something that I have hooked up right now. Hey, what's up, Chris?
How's it going? All right. Good.
Good to see you, man.
Good.
Can you hear me all right?
So there is a link in the comments if anyone wants to jump on and join us. After all, it's the last one of this year, and we can have up to, I think it's 10 people. So yeah, all is welcome. I'm in a very happy mood. So, but did you lose any fish, Ty? That's the question.
No, but they're acting really weird now.
Yeah, well,
yeah, I don't blame them.
They're going to need to settle back in again because one, you've had the water loss, but the extra water you put in is gonna knock them sideways as well for temperature wise and everything else, because you must be quite low on your temperatures at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's below freezing outside right now, but my little thermometer I have in the pond says the water is 53 degrees right now. Or what is that?
Is that Fahrenheit or centigrade?
That's Fahrenheit. I can look it up really quick.
You're talking Swahili and Fahrenheit. Oh, while we're waiting for Ty to come back, welcome in, Chris. Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. How's your pond been this week?
Not too bad, mate, to be fair. I've got the covers on it. It's holding about 9.5 degrees at the minute, so not too bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad then. So what? Big, big, big question is, what plans have you got for next year? How we doing? Everyone joining in? We've got another one added in now. When the laptop, the tablet decides to play ball. How are we doing, Danny lad?
Sounds, yeah.
Drop out and come back in, Dan. So while Danny's trying to sort himself out, what temperature is that in?
Can you hear me now?
In
Oh,
Celsius,
yes, we
it's,
can hear you.
12 degrees.
12
I was
degrees.
connected to the car Bluetooth.
12 degrees isn't a bad temperature, to be totally honest.
No, it's not too bad. I've had it
I
all the way
mean-
up to like 15 now.
2 seconds.
But for winter, that's not a bad temperature, boy. I
Yeah,
mean,
one of my little heat lamps exploded, so now I'm down a heat lamp.
you're not doing too well at the moment, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, mate. Yeah, well, do you want to know a little secret? I put a fish in earlier.
They're in?
Hey, nice.
Yeah, moved one over from the Tosai tank into the new pond about an hour ago.
This is why
And
you're in
it's-
such a good mood.
Yeah. Now I haven't got the drum up and running yet, but the skimmer line, other than a drippy ball valve, is running absolutely sweet. So yeah, I couldn't help myself. So I think tomorrow will be the day that I take the pool down in the front garden and get them all shifted back into there, but where they should be. Can't wait. Really can't wait.
Well, I'm excited for you. You've been working on this thing forever now.
Well, it's
But,
in a lot.
I think you also, this whole process like went really quickly too.
It did, and that's one thing I was going to say is that it's gone a hell of a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. So with that in mind, you know, I'm over the moon, and there's plenty of people out there to actually thank for getting me there. You know, you've got Liam's just come up in the comments, the Koi couple. Without the groundworks he done while I was going backwards and forwards to the hospital for Pa, I still wouldn't be at this point now, as well as our Stuart that's in the comments as well. If it hadn't been for Stuart coming around doing the block laying, I wouldn't be where I was now. And then it just goes down the line. You know, I've got to thank Rick and the boys, otherwise I wouldn't have the drum. I've got to thank Matt from Howie Koi, because without him, I wouldn't have the drum reconditioned. I wouldn't have the liners. I wouldn't have the glass. So there's been a lot of help to get me to this point. Say again, mate.
In the grand scheme of things, you did it pretty quick, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I did have visions of the pool being out the front until sort of like April time.
I started my pond, was it July the year before last? So yeah, this will be the summer just gone was the first summer they had, because I got the fishing in December. I was waiting on permission from the council to build it. I started building it anyway, but yeah, from June time, I think I started doing the digging and stuff. By September, the window was in. I just did it in bits and bits because I work nights, and I was just doing it sort of in the daytime as and when I could. So yeah, it took about 5 months start to finish, but yeah, got it all built in the end. But yeah, I was waiting on that with new tenants, and was waiting for the council come out and make sure that you're an all right tenant, basically, and like let you in, let you stay. And as soon as I got that, I was like, right, that's it. Pond's up, done. Fish out for my old house, over here now, done. So yeah.
And it's looking good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I've got some plans for the, because my pond's it's just under 5 meters long, just over 2 meters wide. So at the end, in one of my last videos, I did. I've made a net to barrier off one side of the pond.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do. It's just under 1 meter wide by just over 2 meters in length. And, it's obviously the pond's 1.3 deep. So that part of the pond, I'm going to put all my tocci because they weren't growing this year. I got a little bit of growth on them, but not as much as I'd want, because obviously they're competing with 65. Some of them, well, one of them 70 centimeters. They're trying to compete with them, and it weren't happening. So,
do you mix? Do you feed a mixture of size pellet, or do you just feed the one pellet?
All 4 mil.
4 mil.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got one thing that I've always done is, if I've got smaller fish in with bigger fish, I always mix the food. So I always got like a 2, 3, 4 and a 5 mil all mixed in together. That way you've got a better spread.
I mixed it with sinking as well. So it's 4 mil floating and 4 mil sinking. And the smaller ones seem
4 mil is quite a big pellet, isn't it?
It is. I mean, even with my big fish, I mean, Betty, she's 74 cm, and she loves hoovering up 2 mil sinking pellet. Yeah. In fact, they'll go down and take the sinking pellet before they think about it. You get the odd few that will race to the top and take it all off the top, but you'll find a good chunk of them head straight to the bottom for the sinking food.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of splitting them off and effectively giving them less surface area, I think you will end up kicking yourself in the arse doing it that way, as opposed to putting in a mixture of small pellet. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah.
What feed is it that you're feeding?
I'm going to put another water feeder on that side of the pond for the smaller fish. But I have got, I've got my Black Zeus. I got it at 33 cm, and it's now 41, but it struggles with the competition in the pond. So I'm actually going to put that in with all the tocci, hopefully, to get some more size on that. It needs body, because when I got it, it was so emaciated, it was unbelievable. Like, really was bad.
You might find when you take the tocci out, though, that it can compete with the bigger fish. Sometimes the tocci will hoover up the food, and they're a nightmare for big fish. It works both ways. The big fish take big mouthfuls, but the little fish will take everything. You know, tocci a lot faster than bigger fish. It's not ideal, really, to have them growing together.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So, what have you been up to this week then, Dan? Any good news? Anything you've been up to that you haven't shouted out on your video or your lives?
There's a lot happening. I'm releasing a video on New Year's Day, which is the plan for 2025. So I'm not going to get into it because I want to wait for that. But it's just another avenue that we're going in. So we're going to push out that hard in 2025. New pond's getting built as always. So he's building a new pond, building the biggest pond on site at the moment. Yeah. Same stuff, mate. Different day.
How's the charity Christmas charity thing you're doing? How's that going?
Absolutely smashed it. Really did.
Awesome.
We panicked at points for we're just not going to get there, but yeah, we did. We blew it out the water, to be honest. So yeah, amazing. I don't know how many there was, but there was at least probably 150 kids who got decent stuff, not just, you know, one kid got a laptop, one kid got a bike, stuff they were asking for, actual stuff that the kids were asking for, they got, you know what I mean? So it was really good, really, really good.
Mate. Yep. That's fucking awesome. That is fucking, and that's 2 years running now, isn't it? And
2 years running, yeah. So next year, what we're going to do, we're going to find a way of setting it up. Eventually, I want to set up a foundation. I'd love to set up a proper foundation that we give all year round to. I'd love to get to that point, but I understand people give what they can, and you can't constantly be asking for people. So I'd like to eventually set up some sort of business that was self-funding.
yeah,
Where the charity money made money, and then that sort of. So have you ever heard of the Cannonball Run?
good film.
Yeah, so they drive across Europe in like Aston Martins and stuff, and a lot of theirs is charity work for ex-veterans, but they're a business. They're a business, not a charity. So the business self-funds. So the more money they make as a business, the more they help.
Right. Yeah.
So that's sort of the model that I'd like to follow. So rather than try and become a charity, become a limited company, but that we actually make profits, and the profits go into making, you know, bigger and better decisions to give away more things without asking more and more people for stuff.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Tony,
how are we doing, Tony?
I'm doing good now, mate.
Sweet. But yeah, that I'll get to you in a second, Tone. But yeah, that sounds absolute fucking awesome, Dan.
It'd be nice, you know, you're constantly asking people for free stuff. It gets a bit boring, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, Tone, what you been up to this week?
Today, funnily enough, I just made a new post box because ours fell apart. The bottom fell out of it. But apart from that, I've been concentrating on that little grow on to get it organised and cycled. Yeah. Quite pleased with that. They seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah, you've done well with that little build.
Yeah, 19 little fish that I had from Rick a few weeks back, and they've grown quite a bit in the aquariums actually. Yeah, it was about 7 cm when I got them. Most of them are about 17 cm now. I don't know whether it was 10 weeks ago. But...
Well, you've done well with them, but I got to admit, Tone, when you was putting that box-filled liner in, fuck me, you had me on fucking tender hooks.
I know.
Oh, mate, I just... Every time you touch that liner with that bit of pipe trying to straighten it out, I was cringing because I'm thinking...
Yeah, I just didn't want to get in it, so I wouldn't have got out. But the mistake I made, actually, more than anything, was, you know, that material that Matt put under your lining?
Yeah.
It wasn't very thick, was it? It was only thin, but it was really tough. You know, you couldn't really stab it and put a hole in it.
No, you couldn't. It's fucking awesome.
I should have had some of that off of him, because that rubber liner grabbed the plywood. And because it sort of grabbed the plywood when it filled up with water, it wouldn't move. You just could not move it. And I think if I'd have lined it with that stuff, it would have moved. It would have slid on top of it, and it would have been a better job.
It would have done to an extent, but really, when you're installing one of them, you really do need to get in as the water's filling, and physically move it about.
Yeah, it's only a tiny sort of liner, though. I mean, it wasn't very big. But, yeah.
Did you see how big mine was for my my bio chamber?
Yeah, actually, yours was narrower than mine, but probably longer. Yeah.
Well, that liner was 18 inches by 3 foot by 3 foot.
Well, I definitely wouldn't have got in there.
No, your one's about 4 times the size.
Yeah, I'm having a job getting down all these chimneys.
And I got to give Ickle Nicky a big shout. our little Nick's koi pond is in the comments. Did the fish get home all right, Nick? Popped in to see me today. Dropped. He said, "Would you like some Perspex sheets?" Fucking yes, please, mate. Mate, you should see how many sheets I've now got in the fucking porch. I'm going to have lots of things covered in Perspex soon. Oh, Danny's gone.
Oh, I'll tell you something else I've probably got to do that I found out the other day is if I get a power cut, you know, or if I turn the electric off, but if I better get a power cut, the water that's in the easy pod backflows into that grow on and overflows it if I got it filled up to the top, as it were. So I'm going to have to put a non-return valve in the pump line, I think.
Hang on a minute. So you going from your pump to your easy pod.
Yeah.
From your easy pod to your bio, and your bio's gravity returning.
Yeah.
Right. So you're turning your pump off, and then what's happening? It's overfilling the bio chamber.
No. It goes back down the pump line. I mean, it won't if I push the valve, the slide valve in, of course, but I'm not there when there's a power cut. So it runs.
Yes.
You're saying you put in a check valve?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. That's what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, made quite a mess the day it done that.
Yeah, oh
and
yes.
What it was, I didn't do it on purpose, but I tripped the electric, and I had to rush to turn the trip back on. You know. But, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Even though my Tempests have got a slide valve at the bottom, I've got a non-return valve feeding it.
No,
don't. But that's what I'm going to have to do. Put a non-return or check valve in that line. I think you can get a 40mm one, can't you?
And Aaron's saying, "Give over, Tony. You can fit in a chimney."
Thank you, Aaron. That's a compliment.
So, I tell you what, I'm sat waiting for Ickle Nicky to turn up, and then I hears this rumble come into the car park, and then a knock on the gate. And when I answered the gate, his Mrs. Desser she said, "Did you hear that knock?" I said, "No, I heard the fucking car first." Fucking rubbish. Audi with some big bad boy exhaust on it. It sounded really nice, but I heard it turning into the fucking garages before he knocked on the gate.
Yeah. I had an
go
Audi with a big engine in it, but that was when I was in a midlife crisis. I'm past midlife now.
Hey, there's nothing wrong whether you're in the midlife or not with having a toy. If it weren't for my shoulders and my wrists, I'd still have a motorbike. So I'm starting to save. I will have a. Oh yeah, here he's just popped up. Look, 3 litre twin turbo V6.
Yeah.
No wonder I fucking heard him put it into the fucking clothes.
I've got the diesel version. 3 litre V6 turbo diesel.
Hey. Yes, Scott's Koi channel. Right, hang on. I got a comment in here. Let's go carp fishing. Please, could you give my channel a shout out, Vince? New channel for carp fishing and koi pond content. Be appreciated very much. So, guys and girls, go across to Let's Go Carp Fishing. Give them a subscribe. Give him a thumb. Tell him I sent you. Guarantee it will tickle him pink because he's just said it will.
I'll go and find him a little bit later. I might have already done it.
What?
Given somebody a sub.
And
I do apologise if you see me shimmying around a lot. If you look at what I'm sitting on.
Yes, nothing. You should have said some of the things I had to sit on when we were in the army. No, we won't go there. So, Ty, big plans for next year. What you got plans for next year, koi wise?
I think it's gonna be fun growing these new tosai out and getting the deck finished. Those are the two things I want to focus on.
Oh, shit, I thought you'd finished that deck.
No.
Fuck me, I thought Tony was slow, but
I ran
Jesus.
out of money, and then I decided to build a greenhouse because I have a problem.
I got enough perspex panels.
Slow?
Took you long enough to fucking catch up there, Tone.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I was just on another tab. Look, I was looking to see if I've subbed Ty and Chris yet.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony.
So you're really going to be pushing the little grow on next year then?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with the way you've got that system set up, why haven't you got some kind of aquaponics going on in it?
I mean, it kind of does. With all the plants that I moved from the main pond into there.
Yeah, but you're going to be moving them back out, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to thin them out a little bit. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of new starts going. Because umbrella grass, that stuff just grows itself. I think maybe I can sell those starts off or something.
Well, yeah, there is that. But I was just thinking more from the benefits you will get from it. And I know a lot of people turn around and say, well, a veg filter or anything like that collects crap and becomes a bacteria trap. Yes and no. Depends how you set them up and what you do with them and what plants you put in with them. I mean, really, if you want to use plants in any type of plant filtration, you want something that sucks up anything and everything. And one of the main plants for that is either bulrushes or irises.
Yeah, Rick on one of the last lives said it's one of the best things you can do for your pond is to have some. A big fog filter will do a lot, obviously, but it don't matter if it's just one plant. It helps. You know, he was a great believer in adding to the ecosystem with a bit of a veg trough or whatever, isn't he?
Yeah, and I've always advocated it. And if you actually look back to the start of my channel, the very start of my channel, and that was
I'd have to scroll back a long ways, Rick.
Yeah, you would have to scroll back a long ways, but go back to the twisted koi pond that was in the front garden. Now, that was built out of broken bits of slab, mud, and some bits of wood. And the only filtration on that pond was two bloody great big plant beds that were run gravity fed by a 4-inch grate into the bottom of the plant bed, and then it was returned back to the pond via an airlift. When I finally shut that pond down and I stripped it down, when it comes to those two big chambers where the plants were, I was expecting to see quite a great deal of shit. But when I pulled it out, not that it was easy to pull out, because I planted those plants in alpha grog. And when I lifted one end, the whole lot lifted up in one go. And yet there wasn't an ounce of crap in there at all.
I only put one in this year, like a veggie river filter really, but I'm going to see what it's like come the spring. Give it a clean through.
Well, that's why I've split my return from the air source heat pump to the growing on tank. I mean, I've got a good 75-80% of it goes over the shower, but there is that 20% that then goes through that little veg tray, and that veg tray is growing like fuck. It really is. And I mean, I keep trimming it. I keep trimming the top layer so I can get it to grow over the perspex. But yeah, it's growing absolute great guns. Moss is another one. If you get the right type of moss, I've got loads of it on the roof of my my porch. And sphagnum moss is an absolute trooper for putting in veg filters and stuff. And if you don't believe me, go and look through some of Martin's videos, Devon Koi Pond.
I just checked. I am subbed to Ty. Probably some time, but I can't find your channel, Chris.
They do. I'm sorry, Crafty, but they do.
Events.
It depends what you want to make a difference to, doesn't it? I mean, it's not going to do a great deal on removing nitrates, definitely not. But I think just general filtration it does. My trough before the plants are on top of it is full of Backy house underneath it, or not exactly Backy house. It's a similar to Backy house media, all laid in the bottom of the trough all the way along. So the water travels through all that Backy house without any air. Underneath the veg filter.
And do you mean I went mute?
Yeah, for a minute you were talking before. We couldn't hear anything, but you're back.
Oh, right. Okay. Where did I disappear at? Because at the end of the day, like I was saying, that
was right before Tony was talking about his Backy house.
Yeah, I think it was the point where you was calling Crafty. No, you wasn't.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
No,
Tony.
we wouldn't, would we?
But no, go back. Like I say, go back to the start of my channel. That front pond was running for almost 2 years, and I had everything in there from really small fry right up to Nisai, and all it had running on it was 2 airlifts and 2 bloody great plant beds full of irises, calla lilies, and something else. So tell me that plant filtration was not running that pond, and then tell me that they don't make a difference.
Looks like Gaz still disagrees with you.
Yeah, I know.
I think Gaz is right. It is absolute minimal in terms of nitrate or phosphorus, but it depends if you're using it for other filtration as well. I mean, as I say, I've got a ton of this lookalike Backy house media running along the bottom of mine, and so that's you know, a lot of filtration in there.
My one on the ground on tank has alpha grog in it. Yeah, okay. I'm not getting into arguments.
Mind you, if you're talking about filters that is full of crap and waste, you can't get better filters than what Rick has. It's been cleaned out this last autumn, and they were absolutely and they didn't have any effect or detrimental effect on his fish at New Forest.
No. How are we doing, Yorkie? So yeah, it just baffles me sometimes.
Hey, Wiccan, what's a firefin Garomo?
Who's talking about Gurumos? Firefin?
Wiccan koi.
Yeah, I've just found it. Nah, don't know a thing. Never heard of them. Firefin Gurumos.
I'm
Pass. Next
curious now,
question.
though.
I agree, it can't stand alone, Gaz.
I have one Garomo in my main pond, or Igaromo, and I'm pretty sure it's just a Kohaku with a single step pattern because it's just straight Benny. There's no darkening on any of the scales or anything.
But how old is it?
It would be a Nisa. It's a Nisai.
Yeah, you would have thought you would have
Would
seen.
have started seeing a little something by now.
Yeah, you would have thought so.
I bought a little Garomo off of Crafty, off of Anthony last summer, and it's just starting to put a bit more growth on now. It's only about it was only about 15 cm when I bought it off him, but it had a lovely pattern and it is really expanding and looking good now. Really chuffed with that. It must be about 30 cm now.
I've got some nice prospects for they're being overwintered at the minute. So yeah, looking forward to getting them in my pond.
What prospects is that? What is it? Don't just say I've got some prospects overwintering.
I've got a Tamora Sankey female. She's 40 cm. She's a maritime. She's absolutely gorgeous. And I've got a Snow Asagi.
Ooh, now you're talking my language.
About 38 cm Ginrin Snow Asagi from Otsuka. And then I've got a couple with Crafty in a minute as well. He's looking after them for the winter for me as well. I've got a Ginrin Miyatora Kahaku and an NMD Kahaku.
That's right, Gaz. Ricky has his chilies, doesn't he? Well, I had more tomatoes than we could eat this year off of the ones along the back of the pond.
Mate, that tank, the water was absolutely fucking perfect. And those tomatoes grew like fuck. Didn't get no fruit from them, but they grew like fuck. And since we chopped them down, we've had issues with the water going up and down, which is why we're having to plow the dolomite and stuff in it now to keep fucking water buffered. Don't tell me the plants weren't doing anything.
What's Green Machine in I forget what country he's in.
Sweden. Green Machine, Sweden.
Yeah, he has to add nitrates to his pond because his bog filter's too efficient.
I haven't actually watched any of his videos for a little while.
I got introduced to him by Stubbs, like Chris Stubbs Aquatic. He did this little video, everybody, like different countries and things, talking about their bog filtration. Yeah, Green Machine was up going through everything, and Chris was telling me, yeah, he has to add nitrates because it removes too much stuff from the water.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. Dog filters, I think there's a lot to be said about what they can do. I think you just have to have enough bog filter to be able to handle what's going through it. Maybe. I don't know.
Mate, honestly, I mean, you
I think
wouldn't.
they make a difference.
They do. I'm sorry, they do. You know, and like I say, I've raised fish from fry and tosai in a pond, run on airlifts with alpha grog and plants. Never had any problems. That pond was in south facing, which had permanent sun, and yet I had more blanket weed in the back garden that shaded than I did in that front garden. But anyway, I'm not going to bang on the same fucking drum. So yeah, your plans for next year, Tony?
My plans are to try and not lose any koi this next year. I had such a disastrous moment.
You have,
yeah, but I've still got some nice koi. I've got a nice chag coming along. I've got a really nice Ginrin Asagi I had off of Crafty. I got that Goromo that was off of Crafty. I've got a Hana Shishui. I think that's most of the bigger fish, but I got a lot of little ones coming on, and so yeah, I want to get some really nice quality koi come along.
well, hopefully, in the new tank, no disrespect, Tone, they might not turn out as little rugby pools.
No, they won't. I don't think they're looking good actually. No, they're not. I've been restricting their food. I mean, they'll eat all day, but I've been restricting it a bit. Yeah.
I mean, I've asked the kids and the family to give me money for Christmas, and that is purely because I want my own clockwork feeder. Because since I've had that clockwork feeder that I've borrowed from the farm on the grown on tank, the difference in the fish, body and shape wise, is fucking astronomical. And that is, I'm having to clean the Easy Pod every third day because they're getting food all day and then into the night, and then they're having a break. But yeah, I've noticed a big difference. But you're looking at 270 quid for one of those feeders.
Yeah.
Are they just like an analog type timer? They're not digital?
It's literally, it is what it says it is. I'll do a little video on it for you, Ty.
Yeah.
But it's basically like a big long tray with a rectangle hole at the end. You've got two clockworks over on the outside, and then you've got a belt that you pull back. You put your food on the belt, shut your lid down, and you walk away.
I remembered seeing them at New Forest. Rick had one set up like in between the two ponds and just put a diverter.
Yeah.
So we only had to use one feeder. Just clever.
Yeah. That feeder on those two seed ponds are actually the next size up. So the belt is almost a size and a half of the belt. You see what I mean? So it is a bit wider. I think that is the only working double size one on the farm. Because it's the clockwork. Once the water gets into the clockworks decide to go they break out the sides and then they're shot. But you're looking, I think it was Carl was telling me, just for the replacement clockworks, you're looking at 90 quid. Hence why Sean, when he's in the right frame of mind, will spend.
Oh, Vince, your mic cut out again. I still heard that somehow. No, Wiccan, I'm going back through and reading what you were saying.
Can you?
Oh, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Fuck's sake! Right, hang on. Chat amongst yourself a minute.
Well, Wiccan, what are the parent fish? Like, how do they breed those? I'm really curious now. Because those do sound cool. Wiccan was explaining those firefin garomos. They look like an asagi, but with the garomo on the back. They have the, like, all, you know, red belly underneath like an asagi does. Make sure I was reading that right.
Oh, Vince is gone.
Yeah, they are a weird fish. They are like an asagi with all red fins, full back, purple back, red belly, and white outlines on fins.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious how they create those. I feel like, well, Vince is gone. We have an opportunity that I don't know what to do with now.
The Ginrin Asagi I've got as what I really like about it is the pecs and the dorsal and the tail has got red in it. You know,
Oh, really?
I do like the dorsal to be red across the back of an Asagi. But on the skin red, it's even better.
Mine's got the Kanoko going all the way through through all the sides and that. Looks really nice. It's got like the red Kanoko going all the way through, red dorsal. Yeah, no, it's nice.
Yeah. I think Crafty said it had golden corn blood in it.
Right, is that any better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Did I hear you say you've got an Asagi that's got Kanoko underneath the Matsuban one?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine's it's the Snow Asagi, but it's got the red dorsal and then it's got red Kanoko running all the way through his body, literally the whole way through his body. Red cheeks up to the top, almost to the top of his head, but they don't meet all the way in. And it's red Kanoko all the way along. The bottom's pure red, but then the top, all along the top, along the sides of the dorsal, that's all red Kanoko.
Yeah, Chris, I remember seeing that one in your pond. I was admiring it. It's a cool.
I want one of them.
Yeah, that should be coming in. I should be getting that in March.
Oh, so it's not actually in your pond?
Oh.
No, not yet. No. That's overwintering at the minute with my Tamora Sankey. So that should be here.
Oh, is that a Crafties, is it?
March, no, there with Still City Koi.
What fish did you have that I was thinking of then? I think you have a really pretty Deutz fish. I'm trying to remember.
That will probably be my big girl, my
Yes.
Keisha Sui.
That's what it was, your Keisha Sui.
Yeah. I have been toying with the idea, because she's 12 now. I have been toying with the idea of bringing her to the National this year. Well, next year. But, yeah. Don't know yet.
You should.
Chris, I think she's a striking fish. She stands out in your pond, not just because of the size.
Vince has got a champion Deutz, of course.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 67 centimeters, so she's alright. She's nice. I've had her. I got her. She was 15 cm when I got her 12 years ago.
Scrag, I'll give you a call later. I've got some really nice ones you'd like in the growing on tank. Little Nick, in fact, Little Nick's koi pond went home with 2 from my Tosai tank, and not my Tosai tank, my growing on tank today. A really nice Ginrin Aragoki Sorogoi.
Oh, that's cool.
And a small Ginrin Shisui, of which there isn't many out in circulation.
No, I've got one.
I know Tony's got one, but they haven't been released to the general public, put it that way. Fucking hell, Nick, you left ages ago. Sorry. Talking of the devil.
How many Tosai do you have in your Tosai tank?
How many do I have in my Tosai tank?
Yeah.
I genuinely couldn't tell you. I don't know. And
Got too many in my pond at the minute.
That's a good problem to have, Vince.
It gives me anxiety.
Why does it give you anxiety?
I don't know. I just don't. I look at people's ponds and think, yeah, that looks busy. And then when I look at mine, I'm thinking, I think it's a bit. I like it a little less busy. The thing with mine is I got my old man's moving, and he decided to bring, because he had 2 fish that I really liked them, and I said, if you ever move, I'll have them 2 fish. And he chose to come round with all of his fish and put them in the pond about 3-4 weeks ago. And I've got a Kahaku that's all the bennies been ripped apart. It looks awful. I've got 3 grass carp, 3 massive grass carp. I had 1 anyway, but now I've got these 3 grass carp. They're like, they've got to be 50 centimetre plus, and there's just too much going on. So I have
to say, I mean, I've been there. I've been overstocked, but the one of the
overstocked, Tone.
Yeah, one of the biggest drawbacks I found is trying to keep an eye on each and every individual fish. Suddenly you got a fish somewhere abouts that's a little bit poorly, and with a great deal of fish in your pond, you don't notice it. You just don't notice where it is or what it's doing. So there's a lot to be said to keeping it.
There's not that many.
Account for me.
My pond's it's 2,700-ish gallon. There's 27 fish in there in a minute, including them monstrous bloody great big grass carp. Yeah, I just want to fit them down. I've got a couple of fish last year. I've got 2 Makashi Ogons. I've now decided which one I want to keep. So one of them is being moved on. I've got an Akka Matsuba that is a crapper Matsuba, so he needs to go. And I've got a Kin Matsuba, and he's going as well. Plus these 3 grass carp. Just thin them down, and then I've got these other fish coming in, and that'll be me, I think, for next year.
According to my koi control, I've currently got 38 koi, but they're the ones that are recorded. I've got quite a few in there that's not recorded, but I've got 38 recorded.
See, I like to have a mixture of sizes in my pond. I'm not talking little, but I do like to see a mixture of sizes in the pond.
Yeah, I mean, most of my fish are 35 to about 42, and then there's 2 in there sort of 55, and then you've got a big girl.
Well, you think Betty's 74, 75 cm now? If anything, I think the Easter shower might be going next year, because still got no fucking sumi coming back on it. That's 2 winters on the fucking trot now.
That's the Ginrin Asagi.
All I can see is blue.
Yeah, that's all you can see. Don't even know where the camera is. But yeah, there's the oh, and that's the little Goromo.
Oh, I really like that.
Is that the one from the forest?
No, that one came from Crafty.
Oh.
And that was when it was 17 cm. It's a lot bigger than that now.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I'm not a lover of bruised kahakus, but
yeah,
that's got a nice balance of pattern from what I could see.
Yeah, it is. I quite like it. Yeah. See, that's
Hang on, someone's asking questions. What question did you ask, Yorkie? Let me see if I can find it. I can see why people have trouble keeping up with the comments. Fucking hell.
That's the Hana Shishui. Where is it? Where's the camera?
I'm not a lover of Hana Shisui.
Yeah,
I can't find your comment, Yorkie.
Don't
Put
pick
it back
up very well, do it?
Won't lie, Chris. I'm jealous of your window.
Oh, I can't wait to get mine in and swimming past that window. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'm very tempted to move them over today. Then I can worry about pumping water and that out tomorrow.
Well, I've got this Deutsch Sankey.
I got a very nice Deutsch Senki. I've also got a big Kahaku to come. I've also got a Kikikuryu to come. And there's a couple of others as well. But life around the koi pond, I have a question. Would you turn your air down in the pond now that we've officially entered winter? The only reason I would have air going in the pond, and that would be if it was starting to freeze over, just to keep a hole.
Yeah, I've turned mine off.
Other than that, I don't run air in the pond itself, because I'm running all the air in the bio chamber. And that once that matures up, should be absolutely fucking awesome. Because I've got about 130 litres of plastic media in the bottom. And then you've got 4 trays of the CSM type media that Stuart gave me. And then you've got 6 trays worth of all the CSM that come out of the original shower. And you've also got 15 kilos of alpha grog in there and all.
I reckon you'll get a lot more media in that though, Vince, won't you? Or can do.
To be honest, I honestly don't think I need to, Tone. I reckon, even though I reckon I could put in more, I think realistically it would be too much for it to do what it was supposed to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it needs a bit of space.
Yeah,
I've just took a load out of my Nexus because I had getting on for 400 litres in the Nexus. Nexus 300. I've got about 300 and I don't know, probably 320 litres now. I took 70 litres out to put in the grow on.
but yeah, once it's mature, it should be pretty doggone good. And no, I'm not going to be banging the drum. Scrag. No, I am going to be banging the drum because I'm going to have a drum fitted, but I wanted Matt on because I wanted to ask him because it was asked in the comments on the last video, and that is about pulling the wire for the spray bar or the wash pump from the clean side. And they basically said, is it going to cause problems with it pulling that extra water from the clean side on how long it actually rotates or whatever it is? So I'll ask him, well, if there's anyone out there that's running a filtro drum, would it be easier to tee into the line that's feeding the pump that's throwing it up over the shower and back to the pond?
Simon from up north Coy runs one, doesn't he? You might be asking.
Yeah, well, I sent them both an invite, but
so wait, what you're saying is the outlet from your drum, putting a Y or a T right there, and then having 2 pumps pulling off of that one outlet.
The wash. Or
did pump. I completely misunderstand what you were saying?
No, you know, on your drum, you've got your in, you've got your out, haven't you?
Yeah.
But then you've also got a feed.
Oh, that damn mic, Vince.
We got to learn how to lip read you, I think, Vince.
For fuck's sake.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, there you are.
Right.
So your inlet and your outlet.
Yeah. And then you've got your wash pump, haven't you, which sprays over the drum. Yeah. Now, I was advised to take the water from there, from the clean side of the drum.
Yeah.
What I was planning to do, because I don't intend using the amalgam light that's in there, I was going to take that out and replace that for a bulkhead connector. I don't know, guys. I've just pulled it out just in case. Yeah. I've lost where I was now. Yeah, replacing that for a bulkhead connector and then feeding the wash pump from the clean side.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting from the comment is, in fact, let me pull it up. Right. The comment was, Vince, you might have problems pulling water from the clean side of the drum. It will mean that the float will take longer to cut out the pump, potentially making the pump run continuously. It will definitely make it run longer.
Mm.
Can you see what I mean? So I was thinking, well, if that then's going to be the case, could I not tie into the return outlet that's going to the pump to feed the spray bar? Can you see what I mean? With the wash pump.
Yeah. Do you have a water line that runs into your filter room?
Yeah.
From the house?
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine, his drum, he just has the water, he just pulls off of his water line for his spray heads for that pump. So it doesn't even use any water from the pond.
Right. Yeah. And hence this is why I wanted Matt on, so I could ask him and give him the question as well to see what his view is.
Yeah. I suppose the worry is that the cleaning pump would pull the water line down and keep the float switching the cleaning on.
Yeah, I think that's what the gentleman's trying to get at, and I can see what he's saying. But
In my drum, there was I'm not sure what the issue was. I had one time it acted up on me and wasn't doing its job. The entire drum was completely gummed up and the water level had dropped. So I had to manually press it to get it to go.
right.
And as soon as just the very first clean section of that drum allowed the water to get into the box, I mean, the whole thing just filled right up.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your spray bar that cleans your drum, what's feeding? How are you feeding that? Where are you feeding that from?
I feed it from the clean side of the box, like what you're planning on doing.
But this is what I'm sorry, he's in the comments. No, I'm not having a. I'm not having a dig, Dan. I'm not having a dig. I'm just, before I even touch it, I want to be 100% certain, which is why I'm asking, could I not tee into the return line that's going to the actual pump? Because it's only, it's not as if it's on for long, is it? Can you see what I mean? So
Dan, where do you take your water from for the cleaning pump?
yeah. Dan, what? Hey Mustang, how we doing? Hope you have a good Christmas, mate, and a happy New Year and everything. Cheers, bud. So yeah, see if Dan answers us in the comments. Failing that, drop me an email with your number, Dan, and I'll give you a call. Right, no problem.
Oh, he takes it from the moving bed.
No problem, mate. All I know is when I took it from the moving bed, it solved the problem. Yeah, that's where I'm going to have a problem.
Yeah, you can't really get a line from your moving bed, can you, Vince?
No. No, I'd have to put at least an 1.25 inch tank connector in, and that means core drilling the wall, and then pulling from the.
Could you not put your cleaning pump in your moving bed and then have it pumping up over the wall and into your?
It's not one. It's not that type of pump. It's an external high pressure pump.
Right.
It does some fucking hellacious pressure. From what I read, I look at the sticker and I think, yeah, okay, that's a lot, but it's a lot bigger than your average 20,000 Veriflow pump sort of thing. It's a lot more than that. It runs in horsepower, not liters per hour. Yeah, it's honestly, mate, it's shit that just goes straight over the top of my head, because up until this pond, I've been so old school in some of the ways I do things. Can you see what I mean?
Mm. It's like having a jet washer pump, though, isn't it? It is high pressure.
Yeah,
I've
it
thought
is.
about drums over the years, and yeah, I've stuck with the Nexus for 10 years.
Good for you, Chris. I do too. I've got a 300 Nexus, which is 18 years old.
Sorry, there's a food conversation going in at this present moment in time. My main fish aren't being fed and haven't been fed since they went out in the front pool. The fish in the IBC tank and the Tosai tank have been getting New Forest Koi Farm Vitality. Next year, I am going to be feeding a mixture of. I'm going to go back to my Takazumi mix, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of 3 mil Vitality in it from New Forest. And the growing on tank in Long Block, they've got a mixture of 2 and 3 mil sinking and floating pellet and Gamma shrimp, and they're absolutely fucking loving it. But I am going to be going back to feeding the Takazumi and adding a bit of the New Forest Vitality in, and that is purely because I've run the whole of this year purely on New Forest food, and I have noticed a slight increase in the waste production. The body and everything else is just as good as it would be on Takazumi, but there is that little bit more waste. So I will be going back to it next year, but at the same time, instead of using the Takazumi Vital to mix in with the mix, I'll be using the Vitality from New Forest, which is actually the colour food, really.
Yeah, it's good food.
Its actual name from Coppens is called the Spirulina.
Spirulina. Mm.
So yeah, that's what I will be feeding next year. But up to point of press, I have been feeding for the last year. I've been feeding New Forest Koi Farm Vitality, and they've done absolutely fucking awesome on it. You know, done really well at the national this year, and they were fed on New Forest Koi Farm Vitality, not Sakiagari, and managed to get 6 rosettes and a best in show. I got a second in size and class from the Ginshiro series that came from Crafty called Perfect Aquatics. I had a third in best in size and class with the Platinum Ogon that came from the Koi collection. Red Kajaku and the Kikasuri got second in size and class. They came from New Forest. And then I got first in size and class with what I called the Deutsch Midori Koi, but what they fucking classed it as, but it got best Deutsch as well. So, and that came from New Forest. And the bit that really, really, as well as the fact that I picked it, I spent a bit of time with it, and it won a prestigious prize. Had I paid for that fish, that would have cost me 50 quid. The Ginshiro Atsuri that I got second in size and class for from Crafty, I think I paid 35 quid for that at the Momotaro Kahaku event that he done. And that was actually my second choice, because the fucking first choice I picked got snaffled by Gaz for, oh, what's the gentleman's name? Sorry, I've forgotten his name. But yeah, so my second choice got a second in size and class, and it cost me 35 quid. You know, and this is what I say, if it doesn't matter whether you paid 5 quid or 500 quid for it, if the quality is there, the quality is there. It's up to us as koi keepers to help and maintain that quality as it gets bigger. Now,
you've got to keep them alive,
if the
Yeah,
quality,
got to keep them alive.
if the quality is not in the genetics, then it goes the other way, where, like you said, with your dad's fish, you've now got a kahaku that's got 90% of its benny gone. Can you see what I mean?
It looks like a Kanoko. Yeah, shocking.
Thing is, they get to their peak at a certain age, don't they? And then it's like humans, really. They age and they go off the
they
boil.
age, but at the same time, if the quality's there and the fish has been given its best opportunity for its best potential, whether it's 5 years old or 15 years old, if the quality is there, the quality is there. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, with some, yeah.
Yeah, but then you are then in the realms of absolutely stupid money, not just for the fish, but the systems and everything that they're kept in as well. And that's where your difference lies. The clean side will be fine. Cleans for about 46 seconds. The issue may be you trying to pull 20,000 litres through a 4-inch pipe. No. At most, I will only be pulling about 15,000 from it. I won't go full 20,000 litres an hour from it. And the skimmer pump is on a completely separate line. So I'm hoping to run the bottom drain at about 65 to 75%. All depends, once I've got it running, on what exactly I'm going to lie on. But no, I don't intend to have it running full bore. Even when I had it running on the Easy Pods, I only had it running at about 60%. So yeah, it won't be getting a full 2,000 litres an hour, 20,000 litres an hour. I mean, but at the same time, the run from the bottom drain to the inlet of the drum isn't very long either. So
I mean, I would have assumed that obviously the screen on the drum starts clogging up, and then the water level lowers on the clean side, trips the switch for the cleaner to go on. But as soon as that drum starts to rotate to be cleaned, it's rotating to a clean bit of the screen, so water starts coming through quicker and allows it to rise on the clean side. So
and one of the things that I can see what Matt was saying is, if you're pulling from the clean side or you're pulling from the bio, then in effect you're not using as much water, because a lot of that water that goes through that mesh will end up back into the pond, because not all of it goes onto that chute and goes to waste. Can you see what I mean? Because of the pressure of it, it becomes like a mist, and a lot of that ends up going back to the pond. I think that's the way he put it.
Right,
So in that fact, I can see what he's saying. You should. Say again, mate.
I've got to shoot, guys. Got to go and do some family duties. But
No worries, mate.
I hope you all have a good Christmas.
And you, Chris.
Cheers, mate. You take it easy.
What's that, sorry?
Take it easy. Have a good Christmas.
Yeah, you too.
Chris.
Cheers, guys. See
Cheers,
you
mate.
later.
Oh, someone's agreeing with you, Tony.
That's not very often that happens, actually. That's really good. I'm pleased. It's just the way my logic works. I mean, I've never had a drum.
No, and neither have I, Tony. You know, and I never thought I would be able to have a drum, and the fact that I've got a drum, I'm in a totally different league now. I've got no, but I mean, in the fact of I'm going to have to reevaluate the way I treat the main pond. Can you see if that makes sense?
You're going to miss all that cleaning.
No,
No,
don't get me wrong. Cleaning easy pods can be a bit of a pain in the arse, but it will cut down the amount of time I actually spend cleaning. Because you think about it, on the main pond I had 2 easy pods, as well as the easy pod on the grown on tank and the toe side tank. So by the time I'd done easy pod cleans, that's 3/4 of a day gone.
Yeah.
By the time I've done 2 boils on each one, and then topping back out, it was almost an all-day job.
Yeah. And you got a lot of time at the farm, haven't you? Really, that's the thing. You're away from home quite a bit, really.
Yeah,
so,
and that was one of the reasons I asked to borrow the feeder, because I knew once winter come, they will get brought in, cleaned down, and everything else. And that was why I asked Sean if I could borrow it for the winter. And yeah, I've seen a major difference.
Yeah, how are you going to deal with your top up, Vince, with the drum taking water?
I haven't got that far. Yeah. Yeah. I was told about putting in when Dan's in the comments. I went from 2 pods and a Tempest to a drum and moving bed. Best thing I ever did. Jamie sat with the ferrets. Chris, I tell you what, to be totally honest, I was very skeptical, to be totally honest, as far as the mountain tree skimmer was concerned. But once I realised how it worked, mate, it's fucking awesome. The pond still looks nice and still and calm, otherwise as calm as it can be with 2 outlets pouring into it. And then you get to the skimmer, and it's like a whirlpool. It looks wicked, absolutely. Well, that was Dan, and Dan saying there, I've got so much more time to do other things, and that is why I took the drum when I had the opportunity. Just like Tony said, spending a couple of days a week up at New Forest, as well as other stuff I want to do and get on with and everything else, it will make my life easier. That's for sure. I'm not disagreeing there.
So it looks like Mark just uses a ball valve to sort of auto top up.
Yeah.
As and when it needs it.
I was chatting with Simon because Simon from up North Koi Pond, he's got one as well, and he runs a header tank with a float switch. Yeah. That could be done as long as I could maybe make it cylindrical.
A hang-on drum, Simon. Yeah, not sure I can get one of those down the chimney.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, what if I turned a cylinder, say a bit of 6-inch pipe. Oh, Tony's gone.
No.
Yeah, so what I was thinking, maybe if I got a bit of 6-inch pipe and then put a little float switch in there,
yeah,
and use that and turn that into like a header tank. Because if it's cylindrical, I can get it in behind where the bottom drain 4-inch pipe is, if that makes sense. Where it comes up, and I got the T that goes into the drum. If I can make a 6-inch cylinder that sits the other side and use that as the header tank to top the drum back up.
So you'd put your float switch inside of the cylinder?
Yeah. And then have that feeding the drum.
Do you have your pump? Is it like a variable speed, or is it just a 1-speed pump?
Oh no, the pump I'm going to be putting on there is a 20,000 Veriflow.
You can change the output?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in my drum, I have my 4-inch lines that come into my drum.
Yeah.
And off of one of those, I have a T that comes up to a 6-inch cylinder. And I have it marked with the measurements on it.
Yes.
And I put that, I'm not even sure why I did that. I think I just did it in case I needed to do something one day. But what I've noticed is the water level in there will do this depending on how much water the pumps are pulling.
Yeah.
I'm back.
So that would be my only thought about putting your top off in there, is that if you have the pump running all out versus if you decide you needed to turn the pump down, that's going to affect your flow switch and what it's doing potentially.
Right. Oh, Scott's saying I've got a float for mine that fits in the 4-inch upstand. What size is the pipe feeding it, Scrag?
Could you
Merry
put
Christmas, Wickham.
I got to look closer at your mountain tree skimmer. Is there any way you could put it like inside of that skimmer box?
No.
No. Okay.
Because my skimmer is in the pond and it's connected to a piece of 4-inch pipe that then connects into the wall. And it goes through the wall. Then goes to pipework, goes to my pump.
Oh, never mind. You have one of those skimmers that's in. Oh, I get it. It's not a place the water flows into and drops off like mine is, because my skimmer's outside of my pond. Yours is like in the pond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's a wicked bit of kit. Yeah, I know, Nick, but trust me, once that fucking pond settles down and matures up, you won't see that green, or you won't see much of it, that's for sure. Because my old one that used to just bob up and down, that was grey, and it looked blacky green when I took it out. It does, Nick. The only thing I don't like about the mountain tree stuff is its price. And the fact that if you go to their website, they don't put any prices on it. If you go to their website, you then have to get in touch with them for a quote.
Well, so who knows where their prices are?
You know, that is openly asking for you to be bent over and taken dry. You know what I mean? Because they could say anything. It just baffles me sometimes. And I thought we were in the age of technology and everything, and yet they can't give you a simple price. You know, a box of this is on a positive. Wolves are 3 up. Come on. Oh, he's talking football. Might as well be talking Swahili, Scrag. Yeah, I've never been a lover of the in-wall frog type. You know, the in-wall skimmers with the Chinese Lotus Japanese BHM. Mate, I've got the cheap alternative, the CSM, and I've got its counterpart before that as well, and it works an absolute treat, just like Alpha Group does, you know. And I know I want to thin my going on tank out, but it won't really make much difference because of the filtration I've got. The amount of filtration I've got on that little tank is absolutely fucking crazy.
Vince, I'm going to have to go.
Yeah,
because I've got a few jobs to do. But thank you for sending me the link to come on. That's great. And I want to wish everybody a really nice Christmas before I go. Have a nice Christmas. Let's hope the New Year's kind to us all. I want it to be kind to me anyway. But yeah, I hope you all have a lovely Christmas. The New Year's kind to you all. And thank you for my subscribers. That's got me to 900. So that's
mate,
good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I've only got 100 to go and I'll get to the 1,000. So,
mate, honestly,
I hope Rocket Boy's doing all right as well. Love him to bits.
I'll tell you, Gaz will tell you, anyone else that's hit 1,000 subscribers and more, when you hit that 900, getting that 900 to 1,000 drags like fuck.
Yeah, I bet it does. I bet it does. I bet it does. I've got to entice a few with a bit of content. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hey, Merry
Much love
Christmas,
to you and the family, mate.
Yeah, and yeah, give my love to Susan. And
I will do.
Yeah. Best wishes to everybody. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Oh, it's the red one, isn't it?
It's the red one, isn't it? He was doing a fucking Ricky on us. We've got a question here. Jeff saying, "Hi Vince, why did you change from the skimmer that you had on your old pond?" I've still got that one.
That's for the next pond. That's for the front garden pond.
I might end up giving it away, but to put the one that I had in the old pond in, I need to cut the pipe down anyway. So I thought I'd give the mountain tree one a go. One, because I didn't pay for it, it was given to me. And I said I'd give it a trial, and so far, so good. It's looking awesome. Even though it stands out like a prick at a horse wedding. because it's bright fucking green. But
Well,
yeah, I am
why do they do
really,
that?
you know, I've only had the skimmer filter running properly for like 24 hours, but at the moment, I am pretty goddamn impressed with it, because you can open it out fully, and then it still pulls, but it's a gentle pull. When you turn that little bit in the center and you
Yeah, I've
change the
seen
slot
those with
size,
the things that stick up and then the inside turns.
yeah, and when you turn that, so you got, there's a sweet spot, so it must be depending on what flow you're pulling at the time to how much you turn it. But once you turn it, and it's mate, it enough pull the surface, really does. And the one thing that's really peed me off is I've had to go across the wall and put a batten of wood across that piece of polystyrene that I had to put back, because I put it back last night. I'm sat there reading through my comments, sorting them out, and then I is splurp. Oh, for fuck's sake, winds, take the fucking piece of polystyrene out again, floating on the.
It's just the way of it. Vince, it's so crazy seeing your back garden without that tarp covering it anymore.
Mate, just getting that off was just like.
I forgot that there was a sky in your backyard.
Mate, and there's still a lot of changes to come as well. Still a lot of changes to come, because the IBC tank area is going to get a facelift. It's got a match now. The OCD is going to kick in, and everything in the back garden will have to match. So yeah.
Did you figure out your split face tile?
No, I'm not having split face tiles.
Oh, what are you doing now?
I am going to be putting tiles in.
Oh, I thought you were looking for like black split face tiles.
No, I was looking for a decent black tile that wasn't split faced.
Got
You
it.
see what I mean? Because when you look at a lot of the pond builds out there that are on YouTube, a good 75-80% of them.
Yeah, they have the small split face tiles that are stacked, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I went with the wood on my backsplash. That's why I'm gonna end up wrapping the whole pond in. I still got to finish the deck. But go ahead. Sorry.
At the moment, I've got the opportunity of one or the other on two different sets of tiles. So it'll either be that color or it'll be that color. But yeah, I've got tiles lined up, but just not sure which ones I'm going to be using yet. But yeah.
You've got it down to two?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the colors?
One is slate cut, proper slate color, and the other is a pale gray. So if I use the slate ones, then I'll put a pale gray top on. But if I use the pale gray ones around the bottom, I'll put a dark gray top around the top.
Okay.
And once I've got the framework in for the roof, that side where you see the fence, that's going to be blocked off, and that wall and the front wall of long block will be cladded with plastic cladding.
Okay. Man, if I got as much done in a month as you get done in a week, Vince. Seriously, your pond just flew.
Mate,
You've got some good people in your corner.
Yeah, I've got to keep this going, whether it's thinking about it. I've got to do something. I can't sit around just lounging around watching TV. I've got to be doing something, because otherwise the old ticker starts going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I think you and I are alike that way.
Always, I've always got to be on the go doing something. I mean, the amount of times Rick's had to turn around and go, "No, Vince, come on, take a break. We're going for a cup of tea." I'm like, "No, you go on, you fuck off. You go, yeah, I'll carry on doing it." And he's like, "You've got to stop." Sometimes I don't know when to switch off and stop. Yeah. Then the next day I'm like, oh, not been able to move and shit. So yeah, in some ways it's good because it keeps me from going off track, but at the same time I don't do myself any favors, because sometimes I overdo it when I should have stopped. Hey Stubbsy, better late than never. Oh, I love Stubbsy.
Nah, he's a great guy. Big fan of Chris.
And little Nick saying, how have you been, Ty?
Oh, what's up, Nick? Been good, man. Been good. I was telling Vince earlier that I had a malfunction in my greenhouse pond. I'll have that video out later today, actually. But I had to. I had one of my heat lamps explode, which was like the minor problem. My main pump drained my pond, or drained my pond halfway, not all the way. I built this pump-driven bottom drain in the center of that pond using 2 buckets. I did that so that the pump would be housed in the upper bucket. So both buckets are still submerged, but I did that so if there ever was a failure somewhere, it would stop at that halfway point. And it did. So the plan worked. The problem is I have a burnt out pump now.
Now, see, if you'd have had a float switch.
If I'd had a float switch.
If you'd have had a float switch installed, it wouldn't have happened, would it? You'd still be having a pump-driven bottom drain made by yourself. But now you've got to strip that down and replace the pump, which is costly, when you could have, for the price of no doubt about $30 or $40, could have got a float switch, which would have saved you a couple of $100 on the pump that you've now burnt out. And I know it doesn't help when I say I told you so.
No, it really doesn't, Vince.
But you know I love you, Tay.
Oh yeah. That pump, honestly, it was a lot of pump for that little pond.
Little Nick says, have you seen the retro bottom drains that we have over here? Do you get them over there, or was it you just thought, I'm going to make
you can get them over here. I just figured I had 2 buckets and thought I'm not going to buy a bottom drain or retro bottom drain. I'm just going to make one out of these buckets, and it worked. So
see, what I've done for people in the past is I've made them a homemade retro bottom drain out of a Tommy drain, a bulkhead connector, and a tank connector. And you get the Tommy drain with the tank connector. So you take that bit off, that becomes your retro bottom drain. Yeah. You put an 1.5-inch bulkhead fitting in the top of that, because it's already got its pre-gap predetermined. Yeah, you go 1.5 hose tail there, flexible hose to your wall that has the other part, which is your tank connector, which you solvent weld in another hose tail for your flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the outside, you put an isolation valve, whether it be a slide valve or a ball valve, and then you go to your pump, and then you pump up. See where I'm going?
Mm,
Then, if you get a problem, with blanket weed or anything like that, you can then lift the retro bottom drain out, declog it, and put it back in because you've got that bit on flexible hose.
mm. Future ties problems. I hate the winter vents.
Oh,
Stubbsy, what's Stubbsy saying? Could have, would have, should have, and if you're a cunt had balls, she would be your uncle. Oh, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. Can you say that? Mate, you can say what you like on my channel because we're not politically correct on here. That's why I say happy Christmas, not happy holidays. I'm going to get shot. I know I am. Stu, no, the price of those tiles was, oh my God. So yeah, I'm looking at something else at the moment. But yeah, they would have been absolutely amazing. I did find some tiles that I liked, and they were 600 by 120, and they were absolute. But the price that they wanted for them were astronomical, and I only need 6.
Those are some big tiles.
Yeah, big tiles, but they would have looked absolutely awesome. But,
well, yeah, I'm curious, like per square inch, like how big was the price difference between buying all the tiles you'd need to do it a different way?
I'll put it this way: for 6 tiles, it was almost 400 quid.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for 6 tiles.
You know, that's almost the price of my box weld liner for the main pond.
Yeah.
And that was 450 quid. I mean, don't get me wrong, they would have looked phenomenal because, like, when you looked at the front with the window, you would literally have 2 tiles.
Yeah.
You know, and down the sides, you would have had 4 tiles. But yeah, the price was like, fuck. So I'm looking at a couple of different avenues at the moment. Just waiting on a message. And then we can kick that one into high gear.
Okay. Since
hang on a minute, that's new. Hey Vince, did you hear Chris from Sweet Acres Koi Farm and Maureen from Keith's Koi Haven are doing an all new live stream starting in January? Fucking yes, get in, girls.
cool.
You get my support, and if you don't know what I'm on about, get across to Keith's Koi Haven, say hi to Maureen, give her a subscribe, drop her a comment, tell her the Twisted One sent you. It will tickle her pink, as will Chris from Sweet Acres Koi Farm. Go over, give him a subscribe, tell him I sent you. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, I would like to wish everyone a very happy Christmas and a very merry new year. And we will see you in the new year. You will see me beforehand because we'll probably have a video before Christmas because I didn't think it would happen, but we are gonna have fish in the pond for Christmas. Yes. So as always, guys and girls, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and all that shemizzle. Big thanks to my man Ty from the Koi Hut, Chris from Brand Family Koi Adventures. Who else did we have? We had Tony from Farm Koi, and everyone
Dan.
else. Everyone else out there. I've been Twisted Koi. You lot out there, you know you're great, and we will see you same place next year. Have a good one, guys.
Happy Merry Christmas.